Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. The 1958 Topps baseball set, filled with a good amount of Hall of Fame names and the rookie card for Roger Maris, is a very popular vintage set. The set features a robust 494 cards, which are portrayed using a somewhat progressive and unconventional design for the time, showcasing a vibrant color background and a die-cut player image in a posed profile. The design was not nearly as revered upon release, with oversized letters spelling out the player's name along the top of the card. The bottom portion contains a contrasting text area that holds the position and team name. The card backs offer a compact statistical byline that includes previous year and career numbers. In addition to the customary write-up and biographical information, the 1958 Topps baseball card backs contain a large area for a Topps cartoon. Among the set's many sought-after options are rookie cards of Roger Maris and Orlando Cepeda, as well as veteran cards of Stan Musial, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Al Kaline, Roberto Clemente, Hank Aaron, and others. Musial is especially notable as the 1958 Topps set contains his first Topps card, the Sport Magazine All-Star card. Curt Flood also has a rookie card in the set. While not significant from a value standpoint, his future challenge of baseball's restrictions on player movement would forever change the game. Sport Magazine All-Star subset cards are some of the key components in the 1958 Topps baseball set. This was the first appearance of separate cards printed for players named to baseball's annual All-Star game, and they present a second card option for many of the top names in the set. In addition, there are a total of 9 multiplayer combo cards, including key pairings on World Series batting foes, Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle, and rival fence busters, Willie Mays and Duke Snider. For the first time ever, Topps printed checklists on the back of team cards, delighting collectors from that era. However, finding team cards with a clean, unmarked back can be very difficult to find for current collectors. Beyond the numerous variations and condition issues, collectors face the typical challenge of locating high-number cards, which includes the All-Star subset cards. However, cards from the first series are the toughest to find overall. Most of the 1958 Topps baseball variations are found in Series 1 and features the player's name or team in yellow text instead of white. These yellow versions can command a huge premium, especially for the key names like Al Kaline, Roberto Clemente, and Hank Aaron. There's also an error and corrected version for the Pancho Herrera card. The error lists his last name with the A partially visible. This variation yields a significant value bump. Also of note, the set often suffers from issues related to the actual printing process itself. Defects associated with photographs out of focus, discoloring cards, displaying a lighter background, and even the quality of the cardstock that was utilized are all common. As a result of these combined factors, the 1958 Topps baseball set is considered by many to be one of the most difficult sets to assemble in higher grade. Despite the fact that the 1958 Topps baseball set has cards numbered to 495, there are actually only 494 cards. Card number 145, which features Ed Bushy, was removed from the set at the last minute because Bushy was charged and convicted of exposing himself to minors, prompting his suspension from Major League Baseball. In this video, I'm going to show off the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1958 Topps set based on their PSA 5 values. Of course, I'll also give the values of those cards in higher grades, as well as the population count of those grades. Now, before I get to the top 10, here are the cards that just missed the top 10. At number 15, the Al Kaline yellow name card. At number 14, the Orlando Cepeda rookie card. At number 13, the Sandy Koufax card. At number 12, the Pancho Herrera partial A in last name card. And at number 11, the Mickey Mantle All-Star card. So, which cards made the top 10 list? Let's go find out. At number 10, We have the Ted Williams card. In a PSA 5, there have been 759 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $293. There have been 599 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $516. In a PSA 7, there have been 227 graded copies. They sell for around $1,458. There have been 115 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $3,635. There have been 10 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in May of 2022 through Memory Lane and sold for $132,876, placing the Ted Williams at the number 2 spot based on PSA 9 grades. And there has not been a single card graded PSA 10. At number 9, we have the Roberto Clemente card with the white team variation. In a PSA 5, there have been 734 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $307. There have been 575 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $486. There have been 314 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,324. In a PSA 8, there have been 121 graded copies. They sell for around $5,316. There have been 16 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was also in May of 2022 through Memory Lane, and it sold for $89,111. There have been 2 graded a PSA 10. The only PSA 10 sale in VCP's database took place in May of 2015 through Heritage Auction and sold for $40,630. At number 8, we have the Hank Aaron white name variation card. In a PSA 5, there have been 877 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $329. There have been 805 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $491. There have been 419 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,030. In a PSA 8, there have been 147 graded copies. They sell for around $6,050. And there have been 10 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was, again, May of 2022 through that same Memory Lane auction and sold for $116,519, placing the Hank Aaron white name variation at the number 3 spot based on PSA 9 values. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy. At number 7, we have the Willie Mays card. In a PSA 5, there have been 871 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $370. There have been 779 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $629. There have been 350 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,526. There have been 122 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $10,400. There have only been 5 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was again May of 2022 through that Memory Lane auction and sold for $115,312, placing the Willie Mays at the number 4 spot based on PSA 9 values. And again, for the Willie Mays card, there has not been a copy graded a PSA 10. At number 6, we have the World Series batting foes featuring Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron. In a PSA 5, there have been 1,047 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $415. In a PSA 6, there have been 1,050 graded copies, and they sell for around $531. There have been 481 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $973. There have been 163 graded PSA 8. They sell for around $3,883. There have been 15 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was, you guessed it, May of 2022 through that memory lane auction and sold for $39,832. And again, just like the others so far on this list, there's not been a PSA 10 graded copy. At number 5, we have the Roger Maris rookie card. In a PSA 5, there have been 1,023 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $427. There have been 1,053 graded copies of a PSA 6, and they sell for around $474. There have been 733 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $865. In a PSA 8, there have been 343 graded copies. They sell for around $2,782. There had been 36 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in May of 2023 through a heritage auction and sold for $21,000. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded Roger Maris rookie card. At number 4, we have the Roberto Clemente yellow team variation. Now, this is a much lower population in a PSA 5. There are only 155 graded copies. The current VCP average price is $515. There have been 211 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $915. There have been 189 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,857. There have been 87 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $6,455. There have only been 7 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was, yes, May of 2022 through that memory lane auction, and it sold for $113,731, placing the Roberto Clemente yellow team variation at the number 5 spot based on PSA 9 values. And again, there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of this card. At number 3, we have the Hank Aaron yellow name variation. Again, fairly low pop compared to the white name. In a PSA 5, there have only been 173 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $553. There have been 150 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $690. There have been 112 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,596. There have only been 38 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $8,516. There's only been 1 graded a PSA 9, and the only sale of that one card was in May of 2022 in that memory lane auction and sold for $173,582, placing that PSA 9 Hank Aaron yellow name variation at the number 1 spot for PSA 9 values. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of that card. And number 2, bit of a surprise, the Mickey Mantle. In a PSA 5, there have been 1,278 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $1,137. There have been 1,047 copies graded in a PSA 6, and they sell for around $1,451. There have been 583 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $2,853. In a PSA 8, there have been 212 graded copies. They sell for around $12,535. There have been 28 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale took place a few days ago in January of 2024 through Heritage Auction and sold for $80,533. Now, the number 1 most valuable card from the 1958 Topps baseball set is that Pancho Herrera No A variation card. Check out the low population of this error card. In a PSA 5, there have only been 6 graded copies. The current VCP average price is $4,080. There have only been 7 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $5,048. There have only been 7 at a PSA 7 grade. They sell for around $7,800. There have only been 4 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $17,538. There's only been 1 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in November of 2015 through Heritage Auction, and it sold for $17,926, and there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Pancho Herrera No A variation card. Well, there you go, the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1958 Topps set. As always, would love to know in the comments what you think about the 1958 Topps set in general and the cards that made the top 10 list. And if you've missed any of the videos in this series, here are 2 that you can check out. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.